On the 18th of August 2011, 18-year-old Richard was violently mugged by a gang for his phone in Halifax, West Yorkshire.
Hello?
Hiya.
Right.
Yeah, has it just happened now?
Just happened now, yeah.
Did you get a description of them at all?
There were about 4 or 5, I think.
Anything about the clothes and all that stood out? Any
No,
bright colours?
track suits and stuff. It's still on my iPhone 4.
Right, okay.
Just before Richard made this call to the police, he'd been on his way to meet his friends for a night out.
It was a pretty good day. I booked it off work so I could go in and get my A-level results. And I got what I needed, to be honest, for my job interviews and stuff. I wasn't really a big fan of uni, so I just thought I'd apply for some jobs or something. Everybody I knew, everybody who lived in Halifax was going on Halifax Town Centre on results night. They was going to go hit the clubs and stuff. I think I booked the next day off as well so I could have a bit of a lie-in.
At 9:45, Richard left his home to walk into town.
I had my headphones in. Everything was fine, I was just cool and, you know, excited to go celebrate my results. And I saw this guy walking up to me, and he had his hood up. So we got a bit closer and I thought, right, I'll just take my headphones out. So then he just stopped and I went, "Are you all right?" He goes, "Yeah, man, give me your phone." I just went, "What? Give you my phone?" And he just went, "Yeah." And he just reached into my pocket and I just pushed his hand away straight away. And as soon as I did that, he just smacked me around the face, something shocking. I thought, right, let's just run away. I crossed the road and I saw 3 other guys sort of jogging along or trying to catch up or something. I thought, oh God, what are they going to do now? And as a teenage boy or an 18-year-old boy sort of wears their pants quite low, your pants sort of start to fall down, which will just stop your running. And I just thought, right, I'll just stop. And as soon as I stopped, they were just right behind me. They were all just trying to go in my pockets, trying to go in my back pockets, front pockets. And I can remember, I think he was the oldest guy because he was sort of bigger and more muscular or something. And I just remember one big punch to my head that he did. I went straight down to the floor after that. Put my hands away, let him just go in my pockets. They just got my phone. I think I must stay on the floor for another 30 seconds because when I got up I couldn't really see him that much in the distance.
Richard had no idea how badly hurt he actually was.
I thought, right, might as well walk home now. So I started to walk home and I had this massive headache. So much headache, I've never had one like that before in my life.
More concerned about catching his muggers than getting the medical attention he desperately needed, Richard went to a nearby house to call the police.
And I passed out, I was sick, passed out again. I don't know how many times it happened. But I was passed out when the police people come and the ambulance.
At 10:30, Richard was taken to Halifax A&E department by ambulance, accompanied by the police, who were becoming increasingly concerned by his injuries.
He deteriorated on the way in the ambulance, so when I saw him, I couldn't believe the state he was in. He didn't seem to know we were there, and he was sort of writhing around on the bed, and me and his dad were trying to sort of hold him and reassure him that we were there and that he'd be okay. But then we noticed that one of his eyes had dilated, and we kept saying, should he be like this? Should he be shaking? And then they got about 5 other people came in and started taking his temperature and taking his blood pressure.
Richard had been struck on the head with such force in the attack that a blood vessel in his brain ripped open. His condition continued to deteriorate, and at 1 a.m. he was rushed 20 miles by ambulance to a specialist unit in Leeds for an emergency operation.
He had a massive bleed on the left-hand side of his head, and that they would have to... Oh, it made me feel sick to listen to him. Basically, shave all his head, well, shave this side of his head, remove part of his skull, and it would be in like a question mark. Take this part of his skull off, drain the blood, check for swelling and everything, put it back. I just couldn't believe him. It was like a nightmare, and I just couldn't believe that my son, my youngest youngest child is going through that horrendous thing.
Doctors gave Richard only a 1 in 10 chance of living through the night. He survived, but was kept sedated in an induced coma for 10 days, in an effort to control the pressure on his brain and prevent further brain damage.
Days went on and he wasn't coming round. He was still sedated, heavily sedated. I started worrying then about, will we get Richard back? You know, because at first we didn't know the implications. We didn't imagine the implications of what this could be. Then my mind started thinking how Richard would come out of this. And all we did was talk to him, hold his hand, tell him who was here.
The next thing I remember was in the hospital. I can remember just my arm being up there. I couldn't move my arm at all. I tried to pull it down, and I couldn't. And I just couldn't say anything. I just couldn't say anything, couldn't move, couldn't like talk or smile or anything.
We were so relieved to see him with us, because we've been talking to him for 10 days and thinking, has he heard us? Does he understand what we're saying? Is he aware? But the day when he did come round, he started trying to focus. And we just kept saying to him, we're here, Richard, you know, you're okay, you're going to be okay, you're in hospital. We tried to tell him where he was because we didn't know what he would be able to see and how he would understand with this brain injury.
What I thought had happened at first was I thought I fell off my scooter. I didn't know what happened. I just couldn't remember it all in hospital.
He had to try and speak again, but none of it made sense. None of what he was saying made sense.
I couldn't remember the last year. Couldn't remember college, couldn't remember work. Couldn't remember some of my friends' names. I was just thinking everybody I saw, I knew that face, went, who's that? Is that your dad? Yeah, that's your dad. Hi, Dad, like, you know.
Just go straight for one.
Richard's best friend Ben let him shave his head to match his.
Oh, that's a good sound. That is a good sound. Oh, yes.
Well, they had to shave my head to get to my brain, and Ben said that he shaved his too, but he sort of waited till I was awake, and it didn't really go well. The video's quite bad with my left hand falling down and I'm just trying to get it up there, and I think I just shaved the front of his head off. After 4 weeks, I think I remembered what happened. I had a few crying fits in hospital, but it didn't really change the way I thought. It didn't really, like, I was still raring to go, raring to get better, trying to move my legs, try to walk, I mean, they thought I'd be in a wheelchair for like 3 months. I was in for 1. They thought I'd be in hospital for 6 months. I was in for 2. You can't really put a price on that. It's just great that you're already out.
Richard was discharged on the 14th of October, having spent 8 weeks in hospital, in which he had to relearn how to talk, walk, and care for himself. The gang that stole Richard's phone went on to sell it, getting just £40 each. It's the 9th of February, 6 months since Richard was attacked. His muggers have been caught, and he will come face to face with them in 4 weeks at their trial. But Richard's struggling to recover, unable to work full-time, ride his scooter, or drink alcohol with his friends. He started to ride the bus for several hours every day to occupy his time.
When I was at home, I was just thinking about court and everything that happened, and I don't know, it's just being on a bus listening to music sort of gets out of your head, sort of brings something else into your thinking style, like, oh, it was, oh, I know that, like, where and now, oh yeah, I remember this road and stuff like that. I mean, most of my friends would be in work or college or uni or something, and I just had nothing to do all day.
Is it difficult for other people to understand what's going on?
I think it is quite difficult for other people to understand. You've sort of got to go through it yourself and see what it feels like to be me. See what it feels like to have something wrong with your brain I don't know, try to find something to do that you can still do.
What he finds the hardest is the fact that knowing someone out there could do that to someone. Because I mean, it's not every day that you kind of, I mean, you see it in the news, but you don't actually you kind of turn a blind eye until it happens this close to home. And yeah, I don't think he can just truly understands that people out there actually do that.
An occupational therapist visits Richard 3 times a week to monitor his recovery and set him tasks to get his brain functioning properly again.
A train is heavier than a coach.
True.
Photographic film is developed to obtain prints.
Photographic film is developed to take prints.
To obtain prints.
True.
A pound of lead is heavier than a pound of feathers.
True. I've always wanted to be a web designer. I still do. Because of my attack, it's just had to be put on hold, to be honest. I'm just trying to get it back. I was so like focused in college. I just understood every little bit of it. But now it's just I'm having a bit of trouble trying to get my education back in my brain.
As part of his rehabilitation, Richard is now working a couple of 3-hour shifts each week at the pub where he had been working through college. Although he used to find the job easy, he now struggles with it.
Right. Oh. Combo feast. Hey! I can't remember what to put on it. Got the worst starters thing in the whole world.
So how many of the dishes do you think you do remember and how many you don't?
It's just the big dishes that I can't remember. All this combo and fish platter and stuff that have about 5 different starter things on them. That's all right now, that's all right. How many onion rings do you get now? Let me put them in. 4 each. Knowing something that I did know, and it's just totally gone from my head, so it's quite annoying. But hopefully doing these 3-hour shifts, I'll sort of get it back. I'm getting faster at my preparation as well, so I'm sort of getting better at the job.
So how did it go?
Went all right. Good. I'm getting my menu back in my head.
As well as causing problems with his memory, the damage to Richard's brain has caused his personality to change. He is less inhibited and more impulsive.
I've actually learnt quite a lot about head injuries since Richard's been home. We weren't prepared properly, I don't think, for the difference in Richard. He's still lovely. He's very outgoing now. He never was. He was very quiet at home. He's very determined. He's quite a strong person. We're getting to know a new Richard, because it's like Richard went out of the door that night, and a different Richard's come back, and it's been one of the biggest things to... We still love him, but he's different. It's like a different person.
Because Richard had such a severe head injury, the licence for his scooter was automatically revoked for 1 year.
I need my scooter to get places and go to Tesco and, I don't know, go to the snooker club or something. Some fair. I usually start her up like once or twice a week. Keep her going. Rosita, that's what her name is. It's a bit Spanish. I like the Spanish names. Rosita. But I love it so much, and I'm just waiting to get back on it.
On the night that Richard was mugged, the gang that robbed him also attacked someone else. Their other victims saw the car they used to escape. After a search, the police tracked the gang down through the owner of the car. It's the 5th of March, and the gang are due in court. Richard will see them face to face for the first time since the night they brutally attacked him.
Mate, Bob here. All you have to do is just go.
What was that? The guy there in the red hoodie was one of the 17-year-olds.
All you have to do, Rick, when they look at you, just go.
Or it could be that guy.
See you later, pal.
I just saw 2 or 3 of them, I think, because someone turned around and stared at me while they were walking in the door. And they were still staring when they were turning around and walking. My body just dropped. Just get back flashes, you know what I mean? Just what it was like on the night. It's merely angry now. I wasn't feeling angry earlier on. I wasn't feeling angry today. I woke up in a good mood. Had a cigarette in a good mood. But when you start seeing the faces, you're not in a good mood.
Sophie Arnold drove the muggers to and from the attack. She received a sentence of 2.5 years. Hassan Adams admitted going out with the intention of robbing. He was sentenced to 6 years. Viren Ladd admitted pushing Richard. He was sentenced to 6 years. Duron Thompson admitted going out with the intention to rob and slapping Richard. He was given 7 years. Stephen Grant has 20 previous convictions. He admitted being present at the robbery and selling Richard's phone for £200. He was sentenced to 8 years.
Do you feel like justice has been done?
I do. I feel like justice has been done. I mean, I'm just giving them back what they give me, to be honest. They can't be out drinking with their friends and stuff. They have to be locked inside a little room.
How do you think they felt seeing you?
I mean, when they were walking round and they were looking at me and whispering to the family and that, and it's just like, well, you're in court, so be nice. This could be your life sentence or something. Just don't act like that. I wouldn't mind you coming up to me saying sorry. I probably won't accept it, but I just take that as a hint, as in you wish you didn't do that. I don't know if they were allowed to speak to me or not. But I would have preferred it if they'd have tried to mouth to me I'm sorry or anything like that, but I don't know.